Hello Explorers, and welcome to another news update. Egyptian activist denounces President al-Sisi's regime of fear. Political activist Rami Shat denounced Egypt as a banana republic of fear. The Egyptian-Palestinian activist arrived in France on the 8th of January after more than 900 days in prison. In an interview to the French press, the activist denounced the systematic persecution of critical voices under the government of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Then, they took me to jail where I spent 2.5 years in a 23-square-meter room with 18 to 32 people at times. We had this much space for sleeping. In my case, I usually prefer to wait than to sleep at all, because there was no way all of us could sleep and stay in that same room, said Rami Shat. The political activist described how many of his fellow inmates were ordinary citizens without any political background, who were arrested in what he describes as a completely arbitrary manner. That does not only relate to politics. People who oppose policies regarding social matters or economic matters, that's enough for them to be taken to terrorist jails. Yes, Egypt is becoming a huge big jail, and I don't understand how they think they can continue running the country in that sense, and how they can build stability, concluded the activist. Rami Shat was a figure in the 2011 revolution and a coordinator of the movement Boycott, Divestment, Sanctions (BDS), advocating a boycott of Israel in the fight against the occupation of Palestinian territories. According to the activist's family, Rami Shat was forced to give up his Egyptian nationality in order to secure his release from detention. A new start in Ivory Coast for Burkinabe refugees fleeing jihadists. Thousands have abandoned their homes, their crops, and their belongings, driven out by the deadly jihadist attacks. More than 6,000 people have left southern Burkina Faso in recent months, walking to Ivory Coast to find refuge and start again from nothing. Near the border, at the edge of the village of Tugbo, a dozen makeshift tents with corrugated iron roofs are scattered in the forest. What made us come here is the people who came to our area. We do not know them. They always move around, and we are afraid. That's why we came the first time. There are people who have returned to our village. We followed them. We resumed our activities, but in the last few days they started to kill people. We got scared and ran away to come here, said a Burkinabe refugee. The more the months pass, the more difficult it becomes to feed. Donations of food and soap from the government and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees are no longer sufficient as new arrivals increase almost every week. There you have it, Explorers. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more news updates around Africa.